Hello everybody, it's Nym and welcome back to my channel. Today is Wednesday and Wednesday means Planet Coaster on this channel, and today we are building an exploration ride. And this is a ride that you see in theme park pretty often, at least in theme parks where I go to. It is basically you hop onto a boat or a car or whatever, and then you get to explore something, and today we are exploring a fairy tale land. Last week we built our first coaster, which is a witch flight, and you will see that on the left of the screen. So if you are interested in that and want to see how that all came together, there will be a video linked at the end of this video and you can check it out. But for now we are going into our exploration ride coaster. I'm not really sure what to call it because it isn't really a coaster. I use the steamboats, and I think officially they're a transport ride, but I didn't want to use it as a transport ride. I just wanted to use it, as a normal ride. So we're probably just gonna call it a ride. I haven't decided yet. We'll see what I go for during this video. Anywho, we are building the building for the queue. So I didn't want to have like this normal, regular, boring queue. Like last week we did a queue that was all witch themed. And this time we are going fairy tale theme. So we are going to build a small pre-castle for a big castle that is coming up later in this episode. But first, before we focus on that massive castle, we are focusing on this tiny castle, which is actually going to be the queue. So it's kind of like a prequel to what you will see during this entire ride and then video. So now, bear with me because there are quite a lot of cuts, because if I didn't cut this video would be like, and I won't kid you, this video would be almost like an hour long because of all the building and replacing items, placing them again, thinking, no, it's better to use this item. Trying to find an item that I used last week and I forgot where it was, so I had to scroll through the entire catalog. I will get the hang of that, don't worry. Just like in Planet Zoo and in The Sims, you'll get better with practice. But I do have to say that I feel like this castle is looking really cute. And we're kind of giving them all the same roof colors, which is pretty logical. So in the end it really looks good. We're also gonna add some very fairy tale castle like windows, which I absolutely love. I believe these windows might actually be from the Spooky Pack. I'm not exactly sure because I bought Planet Coaster with all the expansions at once. So I'm not really sure where every item is from. But of course, if you want to download this and maybe use it in your own park, there will be a link in the description. If I remember, I probably will forget. I'm terribly sorry, but I have a very bad memory. I would say I have the memory of a fish, but apparently fish have very good memories. So I have no memory at all. So I will most likely forget it. But if I forget it, just comment it down below and I will send it anyways. So here we are just a little bit outside the queue, and then we actually at the boarding station. And this boarding station, I wanted it to be a fairy tale like, but also kind of old. So it's kind of like this big building that used to be part of the amazing castle, and now it no longer is. And once we finish that, we are actually moving on to the big castle, and this will be a gigantic fairy tale like castle. And I am absolutely in love with the way that this eventually turns out. So we're using these big archways, and we are just using that to build a little bit of an elfish section with it. Now, when I first started building this, it looked very human. And with that, I mean that it looks like any castle you would normally see. And that is just plain out boring. I mean, we want to do something special on this channel. We want to get out of our comfort zone and build something that we haven't seen before. And in the end, I think this castle actually is something that you probably never saw before. Obviously, now it still looks ugly. And when I was building it, I was just like, oh man, this is gonna look awful. Am I really building this? I mean, it looked horrendous. But now it actually looks pretty good. And you'll I know the end picture, so it's fine. We are gonna make a floating castle because, fairies or elves, just whatever. Actually, I believe I called this the fairy land boat ride. I believe I named it like that, yeah. So I'm gonna keep saying elves during the rest of this video, but that's because it's almost Christmas and elves are just in my mind at the moment, so I'm sorry. Anyways, we are going to transform this into a floating castle, so all of the columns and the towers won't actually reach the ground. And in the end, it looks pretty amazing and pretty elfish-like, or fairy-like. Did it again. I'm sorry, I'm just really into Christmas spirits. So at this point when I was building, I was worrying that it looked way too much like actually a human building. Because of, you know, the towers shaped like that. The color of the wall was like, yeah, this looks really human, and that's something that I didn't want. So we are going to add more old things. I did, I want to say I did naturally, did a design drawing. I did a design drawing, and I will put it on screen somewhere now. Hopefully, I mean, I remembered last week, so that's good. I'll try to do it again, if I can find the picture again, because, you know, I saved it somewhere on my computer. And because I was in such a hurry, I didn't save it in the correct folder, so now it's somewhere on my PC. I'm not exactly sure why, but I will find it, don't worry. I'll try to put it in there. Again, if I remember. If I don't, I'm sorry, but my memory is just plain old awful. Like, I don't have a good memory. And, you know, given it's almost Christmas, and then at my work, it's crazy busy. Like, it's insane. So, but whatever, we're not here to talk about work, we're here to talk about Planet Coaster. I almost wanted to say Planet Zoo, but I meant Planet Coaster. I have a fun idea for next week, right? So next week is the week of Christmas, I believe. Let's check, is next week the week of Christmas? Yes. So like the 21st, 23rd, and the 25th. Ooh. Will all be Christmas themed videos. I will work very hard on that, try to make a Christmas themed coaster, a Christmas themed zoo thing, and then a Christmas themed thing in The Sims. Whatever. If you have ideas, let me know in the comments down below, please, because I'm still wondering on what to do. But I have I know what I want to do it, but I'm not quite sure what I want to do. So if you have ideas, drop it in the comments down below. So what you saw me doing just now was placing those elfish archways and just placing them underneath one of the towers to make it look like it's really elfish. And I actually really like that, so here we are doing it again and adding those archways like on top of buildings, on top of towers. It made the castle look much less human and more fairy tale and more elfish like. Especially when we actually ride the ride. You will notice that I have put lights and candles everywhere around, so it really has that fairy tale feel. At least I feel that it has, so hopefully it has for you guys as well. Whatever. Here we're adding some stairs because, you know, realism, we want our fairies to go up the stairs, even though they could probably fly, because I think naturally fairies have wings. At least the fairies that I know. So, you know. And here we are molding the terrain just a little bit because it was so flat and so boring, and it just needed to be more exciting. And I can already tell you we are going to put so much landscaping in there. I'm also very, very, very sorry if you can hear someone swearing in the background. I'm sorry. But you know, it's Saturday, it's the days I do my voiceover, because one of the only days I actually have time off. Luckily, during the Christmas break, which is the end of the week, I will have more time to do things like this and actually record on times where there aren't any other people around and it won't disturb my recording. So here we are placing some landscaping. Just random. I didn't actually filter on anything. I just looked at what looked a little bit fairy tale like. I believe we're actually going to use some swamp trees here as well. But you know what? It's a fairy tale world. Anything can happen. Also the windows, aren't they amazing? They look so, and I'm going to say it again, fairy tale like. And I'm not even sure that's a word, but I've just declared it as a word. And I don't really know what else to say about this castle, except that like the vibe is completely amazing. I do wish that I could have changed the actual color of the walls. Like, I would like it to be purple or like pinkish, but not like bright purple, but a little bit light purple with a little bit of gray mix in there. Maybe I just missed the option, but I don't think you can actually color each wall. Some of the walls, you know, I know you can color the plaster walls. Not quite sure about these. I'll check in the game, because I honestly can't remember at the moment. So it is what it is. we are almost done with this building, or like this section of the build. And then I realized actually the ride was actually way too big. It took like almost 12 minutes for the people to get through. And I didn't want to speed up the coaster because, you know, then you wouldn't have that much time to look at stuff. So we are just slightly going to adjust the path of the coaster. And here you see that I'm actually awful with building coasters because I can't get it to align. And there was a lot of cutting in there as well. Also, I realized like my park has only now 2 coasters in there, like 1 coaster and 1 ride. And the way I look at it, like almost half the map is filled. And I have seen a lot of people on, here I go again, I've watched people on YouTube, but I have, and they build the amazing theme park. Like it's insane how much they build on like such a small surface level. And I tried to do the same. I was like, you know, I'm not going to be like extremely large on any of my coasters and try to keep it natural, more realistic, maybe integrate some of the things. That failed miserably. Whoa, I can't speak anymore. I'm sorry. So I feel like just with these 2 rides, my park is like almost halfway full. So the reality of it is probably that like with 5 coasters, this theme park will be done because the map will be full. And I hate to say it, but I really fear like that is going to be the reality at this point. Maybe if so, I'll need to look up like some tips to incorporate rides. What I could do is like I could build a coaster like next to this and have the coaster like go across the castle actually, so pimp up the castle a little bit and then have the coaster go through some of parts of the castle and through the village. That would really be cool because then I could integrate 2 rides, or like a ride and a coaster. That is, oh, I'm going to do that. I need to remember this idea because I'm probably going to forget it already, because like I said, memory of a fish. I can't even remember normal things. Like this week on my work, we actually have a Christmas service with all the children, and I keep forgetting what I need to do for that, just because I usually get like a list of things that you need to do, and the list was sent a little bit late, which I understand because it's a very busy time of the year, and we had so many holidays like following each other, so I get that. But it does result into me not exactly knowing what I need to do and forgetting a lot of things. And then I write it down, and then I'm like, oh yeah, I'll write it down on this post-it, and I put the post-it here. And then the post-it is no longer there, or I put it somewhere else and I didn't remember, you know, etc, etc, etc. Anywho, that's not the point of this video. I'm trying to go back to topic because I'm very off topic. We all know that like you come here for a coaster, and talking about a coaster, you get a coaster or a ride and a 20-minute podcast about my life. At least you get to know me. I mean, like, that's important as well, like, know your creator. So that's me. Anywho, right now we are building this little fairy village, and in my mind I had something completely different, but I couldn't exactly execute that because I didn't really know how to. So I came up with like these little houses, and a little mill, and then a water mill as well. And then, you know, would like make it look like a really nice small village. I didn't need it to be like extremely large or anything, because it's not realistic that an entire fairy population will live here. I mean, you will see that a lot of theme parks in the Netherlands as well. There will be a lot of buildings and not a lot of people, or like the other way around. So that's completely fine. And here we are just going for a small village with some realistic features, because like every house has a chimney, and we will give smoke effects in the chimney to make it look like there are actually people in there cooking, you know, and stuff like that, which I absolutely love. I felt like it's so cleverly thought of myself, and not like I'm like the sole person that imagined this, but you know, I didn't steal it from anyone. It came up in my own mind, and I feel like that's really good. I'm getting creative, and that's something that I'd like. So here we are pimping up the rest of the village with some hay, you know, making sure that it actually looks lived in. And I feel like I actually did quite a nice job. You will see that in the ride as well. Like, I couldn't put everything that I did in this video just because it took me so long to complete this. I believe I have like, how many hours did I have of footage? I had like 5.5 hour of footage. And I know that some people take like almost 15 hours to complete just the coaster and not even half of the theming. I can't do that, I'm a very fast builder. So yeah. And maybe in Planet Zoo that works because I know a lot more about that game and know more about the mechanics and about the building objects and everything. And obviously in Planet Coaster I still need to discover that. But we will get there, and I feel like this ride is already better themed than the last one. I mean, maybe not the boarding station, but the ride itself, definitely. So, you know, I'm quite proud of that. So if you want to see the ride, there will obviously be a ride at the end of this video, which is in like a minute or so. I will have a ride in the daylight and in the dark, so you can see the differences. I advise to do the dark ride because that is just so magical with all the little fairy lights that I put there. It's so amazing. I purposely didn't put like placing the lights in the video because you can see that when you go through the village and the castle, and I absolutely love it. Anyways, I'm just going to use this last bit of time like for self-promotion. Obviously I have a YouTube channel, but if you open the description, there's actually a lot of my social media. There is my Twitter, my Instagram, 2 Instagrams actually, Twitch where I rarely stream, but you know what isn't can always happen. So follow me on those, get updates. Also, if you haven't already, please consider subscribing to the channel. It helps me out. At the moment we're almost at 100 subscribers, and it would mean the world to that if we could get that before Christmas, or at least like the New Year's. Probably won't happen, but it would be amazing. Anyways, guys, enjoy the ride in a minute. I hope you all have a very good morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you are, and I will see you in the next video. Bye, guys.